and a very good morning I bid to all, especially our lecturers. So today I will present about linear programming. By the way, my name is Fadliana Binti Karim from Mathematics Unit 1. This is my slide. So here we go. Okay, so this is the front page of my slide. Oral and content presentation by Fazliana Binti Karim. Contents. These contents include introduction, application of algebra in daily life, model of linear programming, solving the linear programming, identify decision variable, identify objective function, identify constraint, solving through graphical method, and conclusion. First of all, we will talk about introduction. As we know, mathematics is one of the most important fields that is often used to solve a calculation in life. One of the most important elements in mathematics is algebra. Algebra is one of the topics in mathematics most feared by students. This is due to algebra is usually described using symbols or letters such as A or S, which can lead to misunderstanding. We call this as finding an unknown, Taqwa et al. 2019. Actually, the word of algebra is derived from the Arabic word al-jabr, which discusses the principal operation and relationships. According to Nasran 2017, the founder of algebra was Muhammad bin Musa al-Khwarizmi, whose knowledge was taken from his book entitled Al-Jabr. Algebra in terms of thinking characteristics is a thinking tool that is seen in terms of mastery of problem-solving skills, quantitative reasoning, and using representations, and even algebra is also a component of ideas that focus on arithmetic generalization, language, as well as mathematical function and modeling. Diana 2012. There are many topics in algebra, one of which is linear programming that is very useful in humans' daily life. This is what we will discuss today. Application of algebra in daily life. As a student, we always wonder why we need to study about algebra and how it is used in our daily life. Actually, there are so many uses of algebra in our daily life. For example, we use algebra to calculate our body mass index and also calculating sums of fat percentage in the body for our meals. Without us realizing, we have used algebra for our health and fitness. Other than that, some workers, such as plumber, might do some algebraic calculation to determine the number of pipes which are needed for our room so that the installation can be done regularly and quickly. An electrician may do a lot of calculation to ensure the circuit does not suffer circuit damage but install it properly. This is show that algebra is also useful for some improvement. In addition, one thing that we always do with algebra is during morning routine, as people will always waking up by set up the alarm. Calculate the amount of time we making breakfast or showering. Also, one of the uses of algebra. What is more fun, algebra is also useful in business and finance management because most of the businessmen may use algebra for calculating the profit or losses incurred. They will use algebra to determine whether their stored equipment that still is stock will not lose its value, and also calculate the minimum price at which an item can be sold to cover expense. For employees in the financial sector, they need a good knowledge of algebraic operation to smooth exchange rate and interest rate in order to run financial processes accurately. Next, we will talk about model of linear programming. Linear programming is a mathematical method or technique needed to assist managers in decision making when not all 2000. There are also three common terminologies used in linear programming, namely decision variable, objective function, and constraint. For decision variable, we will use it as a first step to solve any problem. So, it will determine our output, then represent the ultimate solution. For instance, I will use x and y as my decision variable to represent large and small cases. Next, objective function, which means like the value we are trying to optimize, or more specific is optimization goals is to improve the value of objective function, whether it means we want to maximizing, minimizing, or even trying to bring it into a certain value. For make us more understand, it is defined as the goal of objective of making decisions. For example, the carpenter wishes to increase the total profit represented by Z. So my objective function is profit. Okay. For constraint, it is where our decision variable has a restriction or limitation value because our goals usually have limits on decision variables value. For example, limitation of making the cases per week. If we have to solve two decision variable, then we need to use graphical solution to find optimal solution. So here is an example question of linear programming. Okay, so this is the question. A contractor has recently secured a contract to develop several houses on a 990 hectares plot of land. He has decided to build a single-story house and double-story house on the land. He had 90 man-days per hectare of single-story house and 270 man-days per hectare for double-story house. Due to the good quality of the house, the whole house can be sold. He wants the development he wants the development of each variety in an area of 990 hectares. The cost of single-story house is 900 per hectare and double-story house is RM 1,800 per hectare. The net profit for single-story house is RM 450 per hectare and RM 1,080 per hectare for double-story house. The constructor has a budget of RM 90,000 and availability of 10,000 man-days during the planning. Find the optimal solution and the optimal value. Okay, so we will discuss about solving the linear programming using graphical method. Okay, so this is the question. First of all, we need to identify the decision variable as mentioned before. So from the question above, we need to identify the decision variable. Decision variable for the first step. So, as you can see from the question, we can take this, okay, X as to represent single-story house and Y represent total area to the double-story house. So, from the information above, X and Y is my decision variable. Next, we need to identify objective functions. Since all the house could be sold, the contractor wants to maximize the profit for his total bill. We are given net profit for both single-story house, net profit for both single-story house and double-story house. The contractor earns a net profit of 450 for each hectare of single-story house and 1,080 for each double-story house. We can get this and this from the question. Here, net profit. Okay, net profit from here and here is for single-story house and 1,080 for double-story house. So our objective function given by Z is maximum maximize Z equal to 450x plus 1,080y. Okay, next we will identify the constraint. Okay, the first constraint is it is given that the contractor has a total budget of 90,000. Okay, budget of 90,000. And the cost of the single-story house and double-story house is also given to us. Cost. So we have an upper cap of the total cost spent by the contractor. So our equation becomes 900x plus 1,800y lower and equal to 90,000. We can get this from the question. The cost. So we will find the cost. Here, cost 900 for single and 1,800 for double story house. Okay, the next constraint is the upper cap of the availability of the total number of man days for the planning house. The total number of man days available is 10,800. We are given the man days per hectare for single-story house and double-story house from the question. So the constraint is 90x plus 270y lower or equal to 10,800. So we can get this from the question too. Availability. Here, availability. So we can get from here 90 for single and 270 for double. Okay. The third constraint is the total area present for construction. Total area present for the construction. The total available area is 990. So we can get from this. Okay. It's obvious. So the equation becomes x plus y lower or equal to 990. Okay, the fourth one is the value of x and y will be greater than or equal to 0. This goes with the same, okay? Because this is area. Solving through graphical methods. We will consider only the first quadrant since we know x and y higher or equal to 0, as mentioned before. So the first of all, I will simplify all the equations to plot for a graph for the above equation. So this equation, just divide them by 900. So we will get this. Okay, in its simplified form. And then this, just divide by 90. So we will get this. And the third equation is in its simplified form. Okay, so we didn't need to divide them by any number. On a graph in the first quadrant, plot the first two lines. So I will show you the graph after this, but now I just explain it first. The first two lines. At the point of intersection where the budget and mandate constraints are active, we can achieve the optimal feasible solution. So this is our optimal solution at which the equation x plus 2y lower or equal to 100 and x plus 3y lower or equal to 120. Here and here, the first two lines are intersect. So we need to find the intersection point. So from the intersection point, we will get this point, 60 and 20, as our optimal solution given by the value of x and y. The constructor needs to build single-story house and double-story house in 60 hectares. Starting to graph. Okay, so this is the graph that I mentioned before. So as you can see, first of all, we need to rearrange the equation to get x-intercept and y-intercept. So just plot the x-intercept as 110 and also this y-intercept here. So this is the black line for the black pen, and for the blue pen, this is the line, and for the red pen, this is the line. I already showed it through the color to make it easier. So from this graph, we can see there's intersection point here. So just find the point. So this is the intersection point. So this is the x, our x, and this is our y. So these 2 points you just need to put into this objective variable, objective function. So just put it in the equation, and we will get the maximized rate 48,900. So the company will get the maximum profit of max debt equals to 48,600. So this is our final answer. So this is easy. So in conclusion, we need to be proficient in applying algebra in life in order to solve problems easily. Branches in algebra, such as linear programming, are indispensable in daily life, especially in relation to finance. As explained earlier, linear programming can help in optimizing our income. In fact, the more benefits we will get if we're proficient in algebra and linear programming. Linear programming models such as decision variable, objective functions, and constraints in graphical method can be used to maximize profit, cost, and speed, or minimize waste in daily life. Algebra is an easy thing if we don't consider it as a difficult thing, and often do it in our daily life. So that's all from me. Thank you. So this is my reference for this topic.